It's your guy who was never lying, sometimes defiant TP Wade, the giant. Ladies and gentlemen, are you not entertained? Are you not
Mm,
entertained? Whatever opinion that you had of this game, look, I'm pretty sure we're going to discuss it tonight. It could go either way, positive or negative. I don't know. But one thing that you can get from this was that you were entertained, man. NCAA football is back, baby. I want to take this time to welcome each and every person that is tuned in, that is about to tune in, and etc. You are at the right place if you want the realest and most raw game recap of this Colorado and North Dakota State game.
That's right.
Phenomenal, man. Phenomenal. P. Wade, talk to me, man.
everybody, it's your boy P Way. There can only be one, and I'm him. Listen, this was entertaining. We're gonna dive in. I have so much to say. I'm mad about certain things, and I'm happy about certain things. But before I get there, Biz, what you got?
Listen, can y'all hear me?
I hear
We can
you.
hear you. We hear
All
you
right, all
loud and
right.
clear, loud and clear.
So listen, man, I just want to let y'all know that I was proven right. Even though my prediction was off, I was proven right, and it just shows that I am the realest on the panel, like I said in the
You were
first
wrong. You
episode.
were wrong though.
That's
So I
crazy.
don't know what you're talking about.
But everything happened the way that I explained it was going to happen,
No,
the
it
way I
didn't.
described.
No, it didn't.
Man, start the show. I'll
All
get into it.
right,
Start.
so look, let's get into it, man. The Colorado Buffs defeat the North Dakota State Bisons 31-26. Like I just said, man, no matter how you feel as a Buff fan, phenomenal game, man. My hat goes off to North Dakota State because I said this coming into this game. I thought this was going to be a blowout. Um, the offense showed me why I thought it was going to be a blowout, but them dudes, man, them dudes in North Dakota did not bow down. And that just reminds me of the fact that whoever plays Colorado, you are going to get the best film. And that
Hmm.
just reminded me of that's what we seen last season. That's what we kind of seen tonight. But what I want to do is I want to start off with the first half of the game. I want to get y'all initial thoughts with what was going on through your mind, how you were feeling, just seeing the back and forth in that first half.
Go ahead,
Okay,
P.
okay. Well, for me, I mean, first half, right? For the first half of the game, I felt like explosive plays by each team. I felt like the Bison really got the running game going. They were managing the clock, which is what they do. Anybody who knows, how North Dakota State plays, this is what they always do. They're a run heavy team. They're gonna manage the clock. They run a lot of movements and play action, and it showed that the D line. I thought they played well, but it was the defensive scheme that I think was missing out of Colorado in that first half.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. Because you could, part of it, I think, was scheme. And I also think that there was a lot of first game rust.
I think it was straight scheme. I don't think it was rust. I don't think it was none of that. I think they weren't put in the best position. They were running a lot of man defense, and what North Dakota State was doing was motioning, moving their man, and then countering it with the run, getting them out of position because they was running man to man. That's pretty much all they ran that first
Yeah,
half.
yeah, I'm gonna disagree with you on that because
Hmm.
the D line said otherwise. I mean, the D line once they got into that game, they woke up. They woke up.
Nah, I think they was out of position. I think they was out coached. I think the scheme that North Dakota State had, the game plan was 10 times greater than what the defensive coordinator had for Buffalo. in that first half. They got outcoached. Period.
All right, Biz, go ahead, man. What you think, man?
I feel like the same things from last season is the same exact problems this season. Up front, the trenches.
Nah, absolutely not.
I'm sorry.
You are not giving them enough credit at all.
Listen. They they're definitely getting. They're gonna get some credit. They did improve a little bit, but at the end of the day, nah, they was busting. There was too many holes. Them holes was big as just TP. You could have ran through those holes. All right, that's how big those holes was. All right,
Hey,
so nah. I'm just saying that.
I agree with you. I agree with you because I really feel like when you look
I
at the
don't know which
numbers.
y'all was looking.
When you look at the numbers in the first half, they were running the ball. Same thing last year. They ran all over them, and then the pressure. There was no pressure in that first half. They made number 7 look like Vic.
Real talk. Real
I
talk.
mean, he's no slouch. He's no slouch. Y'all got to understand this. Cam Miller is somebody who is good at what he does. I'm not going to sit here and act like he is the next Heisman winner to
It's
come, but
not.
he is. Can I finish? He's a good game manager, and he is good at decision making.
It's not that.
Also, his primarily game is to make you miss. So I mean, no, I highly disagree with y'all. Y'all
It's not that
trenches.
though. It's not about that. It's about the push up front. Has nothing to do with Cam and all that. Their offensive line was dominating their D line in that first half.
Okay, but then in the second half, what happened?
We talking first half.
Okay, so but that's why I'm saying you can't say that it was like last year
I'm real,
because last year it was all 4 quarters.
but 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 I'm really talking all game. If you can hear me, I'm really talking all game
Right. I
because they were getting dominated all 4 quarters. To me,
Nah, I didn't see that.
how
I didn't
many
see that at
how many
all.
sacks? How many
They
sacks did
came
they
up
have?
big time.
How
They
many
came
sacks?
up,
How many
eh,
sacks did they have?
but not even from the stack standpoint. I mean, that stacks. That's just one element of the game, man.
No, I
That's
understand that. I understand that.
I don't. I
But I
don't.
said dominate. They weren't dominating. How many sacks did they have?
I'm about to find out. Y'all keep going while I find
Yeah,
out.
I don't. I don't know. I don't have that on me right now. I don't know how many
All
sacks
right,
they had,
I got you.
but what I can say is when you talk about the trenches, you're talking about the defensive line and you're talking about the offensive line. And so
I didn't get to them neither, but the offensive line as well. They improved a little bit. I'm gonna give
that's
them that.
mind. That is mind blowing to me. They improved a little bit,
Yeah. To be honest, Shador got touched too much for my liking in this game.
but that wasn't an offensive line thing. That was
Agreed.
not an offensive line thing. The
Eh,
offensive line looked a lot better from last year. A lot,
okay, I'll give you that. A
for
lot better,
sure.
but they looked a lot better versus North Dakota State University.
Well, listen, I can only go by what was in front of them. I can only go by what was in front of them. And look, I'm telling you, I'm not giving Colorado no slack. I think there's some things that we're gonna talk about. But what I can say is there deserves to be a lot of credit due to some guys that is not that's not gonna be Travis Hunter, that is not gonna be Jimmy Horn, that is not gonna be Shador. And I think that the offensive line and ultimately the defensive line just needs a little bit more kudos. Yes, they started off very slow. I agree. But they stepped up when it was time to. Late in the game, it was the defensive line in the trenches that ultimately helped them get that W. So, I mean,
All right, and I could give them kudos, but I could also speak on their weaknesses as well. At
yeah,
least.
yeah. I mean, there's weaknesses, but I'm surprised that y'all didn't see more weaknesses in the secondary. I thought that was more of where the weaknesses lie.
Uh,
That scheme to me. That's more the scheme of running man to man so much, and then also not getting pressure. That scheme to me. I can't blame the secondary that
But he
much.
but even man to man, again, that's when I bring in the fact that you're going to see a lot of different receivers. You're going to see a lot of better receivers, and it just didn't seem like they could keep up with anybody. It didn't. It looked like they were on the same playing field with those dudes. And I don't think these receivers were that talented at
No, not
North
at all.
Dakota. I don't think they were talented at all. So I think the big concern was indeed that secondary. They look similar to last year.
The entire defense, the entire defense was off.
Yeah, I can't say that. I can't say that.
You can't, man. The entire defense could improve. There's a lot of room
Yeah.
for
No, we're
improvement.
saying two different things. Are you saying they could improve or their entire defense looked the same? Which one are we talking about?
Well, I didn't say they look the same. I said when I say they look
So
the
you
same,
telling me you did not say they looked the same as
what?
last year?
But when I say they look the same, I mean like they both needed improvements. So yeah, this one could be better than last year's, but they still need improvement, just like last year. You know, there's still a weakness in the defense, just like last year.
But to
But,
me,
but those are two different statements.
I think it's
'Cause I
coaching, man. It's coaching. It has nothing to do with the
I agree with
players.
the coach. They
It's the
do though.
scheme, man. It's the
I think two
scheme.
things could be true. Two things
I
could be
don't
true.
think two things. That's what I'm looking at it. I'm starting to realize two things ain't true. The two things ain't true because Colorado's roster we know is way more talented than North Dakota State.
It's not even about how talented you are
They
at
were
some
put
point.
in a better position to win this game with their scheme, with their clock management, them running them off balance tempos runs, the option to catch them off balance, the motions pre snap.
Who was?
North Dakota State.
No, because I think that there was coaching on both ends. I think there was some coaching errors on both sides of the ball.
No, North Dakota State had player errors. They had people
No,
blowing coverages.
like I said, two things could be true. I mean, I
Nah,
think there was at both
nah.
times there was
Yo,
cases where
it was a couple things that coaching wise that could have been clean on the Buffalo side. North Dakota State, I think he coached a very good game. I think he did a very good game. But he almost the Buffaloes almost gave the game away a couple times. One, fourth quarter, a minute in, about 20 left, passing the ball on first down. What are you doing? You trying to milk the clock. Why are you passing the ball? Two, you saw he called that timeout when it hit 30 seconds left. Why not just do a delay a game? Why are you using your timeout? You might have needed that later if they was to get that ball up the field for a last play. You might have needed that. But you're not thinking long term enough and you go and use that timeout. And then two, I can't think of the one in the first half. It was another big one. There's another big one in the first half. Oh, going forward in your own field. What are you doing? What are we doing?
I'm not mad.
That lets me know you way too much pressure you feeling. That you gonna go for it on your own 30.
No, I'm not mad at that
Come
at all.
on, man.
I'm not mad at that.
Nah.
Now
What was it?
there was
When,
definitely
on the first, it was 4th and 1. It was 4th and 1 on their own 30.
there was
but
definitely
nah.
no, there was definitely
nah. And
there
that
was
goes back to the offensive line. How many rushing yards they had this game?
Mm.
Are we talking about whose offensive line?
Buffalo.
Okay, so can
They
I
had
get the floor now?
Go ahead.
All right, good. For one, no, absolutely not. Nah, absolutely not. I think that first of all, yes, there was coaching errors on both ends. I definitely believe that. I think as far as the Buffs is concerned, I'm not mad at that going forward on 4th and 1. I'm definitely not mad at it. It's just an aggressive play style. They just didn't execute it. Simple as that. Because
That Madden
if
stuff.
no, it's not true. I mean, Dan Campbell from the Detroit Lions, he makes his name off of that. When they succeed, he's cheered. He's cheered for it. If you don't, I mean, it's a sacrifice. I mean, it's a what you call it? It's a gamble. It's a
If you
gamble.
don't, you're criticized.
I mean, I'm not. That's what I'm saying. You have to separate players and coaching. Now, the draw up was perfect. It just was a lack of execution. I mean, you got to think about it. One more inch, one more half a yard or whatever it was, they would have got that thing. So at the end of the day, I'm not going to sit here and just remove the football factor from it and just say it was all the coach's fault. Secondly, I think, yes, the coaches did They didn't coach their best game. I think there was a lot of things in the first half that showed that they was being outcoached. But in that second half, Coach Sanders even mentioned it. They start putting everybody inside the box, and I think it was a great game plan, and they start getting crucial stops from North Dakota.
Mm.
Now, with that being said, there was still some execution errors by Colorado's defense that was had. Tackling, lack of physicality. Those are things that has nothing to do with the coaching. That's all players doing. So, I believe that two things can be true on both sides of the ball. I think even North Dakota, they got away with what they was doing good at in the first half of the game. I would have liked to see them open it up just a little bit more because their secondary looked like they were lost. I
That's
think
real.
they was doing a little bit too much running.
That's real.
So, again, two things could be true.
I disagree. I disagree. I thought
Well,
that they should have ran the ball that they were doing. That's the reason why they ran what their running back had
all
over
right, you
80
gotta
yards
stop.
on the ground.
You gotta because you're gonna lose me.
North
Stop.
Dakota State. The
Thank
reason
you.
why
Let me get a
North
name.
Dakota State should have continued to run the ball like they were doing. They were chewing the clock. Their running back had over 80 yards. The quarterback had over 100 yards. What more do you want? That's 180 yards on the ground.
No,
You
see,
talking about
look, you
don't
gotta
run the
remove
ball?
some stats. You gotta remove. You gotta
Okay,
remove
even in the
stats away
game,
from.
even in the game, they was scoring points. You want them to stop doing what they was doing? They were scoring because they were
They
running.
weren't.
Their
No,
pass
no.
plays was based off of their running game. They weren't just
Exactly.
straight shotgun. That's why they had to continue to run.
So listen to what you just said.
That's why
They
they had to
can't.
continue to run.
All right, look. Let me make a point, and then you can make a point. You cannot tell me that their passing game was based off their running, but then just say it was all their running that got them up the field. You just said it out your mouth.
No, you
It
can't
needed
say that. You just said two things can be true at once. That's the truth.
no. See, look, what you're not going to do is try to trick me up with words. No, I was referring to a different. I was referring to a different substance of the game. Now we're talking about something completely different. So follow me and listen to me to understand. And I'm trying to win the argument. What I'm
Don't
telling you
matter.
is this.
Spicy.
What I'm
It don't
no,
matter.
what I'm telling
It
you
don't
is this.
matter.
It's
No,
getting
what I'm telling you is
spicy.
this.
That concept is true
What
on
I'm telling
anything.
you is this. North Dakota was doing a good job at what you just said, mixing the pass and the run. They were killing them with that. They got away with that in the second half of the game. And after they had that big stop on defense, they got away with that. They kept running the ball, and their run game was dead. And that's when Colorado's defense caught a hold to that. They had all the men in the box, and they stopped the run. They should have opened it up a little more and test that secondary because that secondary looked incompetent. They didn't look like they were the ones who got it together.
It's not true. Once again, I disagree.
All right, well, we'll agree to
Their
disagree.
passing game was reliant on their run game. That's the reason why they weren't
Stop.
passing the
Give me a
ball.
name. You got to give me a name because I'm
North
lost.
Dakota State. We ain't talking about Colorado's run game, first of all. We're not talking about Colorado's run game. Anytime I mention run game, no one's talking about Colorado. So that should be out the window. But
Why not? That needs to be talked about.
well, I'm talking about actually being good. We're not talking about Colorado. So, but anyways, back to my point. North Dakota State was running the ball. That's what made their pass game effective. If you was watching their pass game, they were doing play actions, motions, the same movements off their run game. That's what made it effective. Anything outside
We
of that
agree on that.
was not that good.
Listen, we agree on that. But what happens when you're just running the ball and you're not passing? Then then you're not doing the same thing that got you in the game. That was my issue with North Dakota. Was I'm like, damn, I feel like they got out coached. They stopped playing their game. Nothing about Colorado's corners or its secondary looked
I
like
don't
they
think it's
were.
secondary. They stopped running the ball well. That's what switched.
Why did they stop running the ball well?
Because they stacked the defense. Colorado.
Okay, then. So if they're stacking the box, what
They're
should
not-
you do?
They're not that type of team. You said it yourself, they don't have receivers like that.
They were
That's
that
not
type
their
of
game.
team in the first half. They were that
Exactly.
type of
So that's
team.
why they wanted to continue to run the ball and go on clock management. That was their
That's
game
my
plan.
issue. But that's exactly my issue. You got away from what was a success in that whole first half of the game. That was my issue with North Dakota.
They almost
I
won a
feel like
game
that
with
was
it.
a coaching mistake.
Yep.
Honestly, y'all both have great points. Y'all both have great points
But I'm
because
right. But okay.
not y'all are both like really 50-50 on some real twin shit. Y'all are both 50-50 right because yeah, you don't want to go too far away from the game plan that got you the lead in the first place. But then on top of that, they did get away from the game plan that got them there in the first place because, like TP Way said, they wasn't throwing it too much in the second half. So you guys are both correct. All right. And the debate, you're really not arguing the same things. All right. I'm gonna just be honest. You're not arguing the
I
same
don't.
thing.
I don't think he realizes. I don't think he realizes that I'm agreeing halfway with what he's saying.
Right,
I
right.
think
No,
he's
I
missing
know
just the
that.
Exactly.
other element.
But
Exactly.
I need you to grasp the full thing. I need you to understand. I'm 100% right about this. That's
All
all.
right, so look, let's just get some clarity right here. Let's
Okay.
get some clarity. Do you think that they stuck with the game plan throughout the whole game that they did in the first half?
Absolutely.
All right, well then that's when I just choose to opt
That's
out.
that's where y'all disagree.
That's
That's
when
where
I
y'all
choose to opt out
disagree.
because the fact that you said that told me all I needed to know about your assessment of
There
this
you
game.
go. Hey.
Yeah, for sure. So,
Yep.
hey, in your intros, don't say that you the
Nah,
realest
I
and
don't.
all that
Nah,
other
see,
shit.
look, there we go. There we go. I was trying to let it
That's
pass.
all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
They stuck to
All
the
right.
game plan.
So let's do this. Let's start with the positive. Okay. Let's start with the positive, and then we could talk about the negative or the downfalls.
Which we already kind of hit.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well. Now we're gonna talk position and player. So
Uh,
I will start by just saying this. I think Travis Hunter is something that I have never seen before. Travis Hunter not only deserves the Heisman tonight, I think he is going to be a generational talent. I'm on that time right now. He needs to get the Heisman. They need to go ahead and give him offensive rookie of the year for the NFL right now.
wow.
They need to go ahead and give him 2026 MVP. Like this dude, this dude is like phenomenal, man. Like
Yes.
playing every snap at an elite level, like the way he is doing, we have never seen that before, man. We have never seen that before. And I just think that he is out of this world with that, man. Just to put things in a perspective, Travis Hunter has 7 receptions, 132 yards, and 3 touchdowns,
It's crazy.
playing both sides of the ball.
Three tutties. That's
The floor,
crazy.
I mean, the floor is yours. I mean,
I don't think there's much to say about Travis. Ain't much to say that you ain't say. He's
Travis, go ahead. Go
yeah, it's
ahead, P.
crazy. Nah, yeah, he's proven. He's proven
Travis,
on a different level.
is he the number one draft pick? Just real quick. Just is he the number one draft pick
I
next
mean,
year?
you heard what I said. I mean,
No, because in the NFL you have teams with positional needs,
Right,
right?
right.
So usually teams value an edge rusher and stuff like that first. So you're probably gonna go that route, but he's top five.
What
I
team doesn't need a Travis Hunter?
that and that's my thing. Like I
It's
understand that. I
it's not
understand
that.
that.
It's not that. There's more cornerbacks and receivers that you can pull from these days than getting the edge rusher. The edge rusher is more valuable. So you got to really think when you're using this pick. You need somebody that's going to last long, and which position is most likely we cannot fill in our long term. You can get another receiver, and this day everybody's skilled. There's so much talent at receiver and
Oh,
corner. There's so
I
much.
just,
We're talking about NFL. Y'all asking two different things. We're talking about in the
No,
right.
no,
NFL.
No, we're
no,
talking
no.
about NFL. We're talking about NFL. What I'm
There's
telling,
so many receivers they can pull
there's
from.
one Travis Hunter.
Exactly.
Oh, come on,
Exactly.
There is
man.
one Travis
Exactly.
Hunter though,
All right,
Exactly.
now.
and there's nobody on defense that that you're taking over Travis Hunter.
No,
I'm sorry.
no.
I'm sorry.
Right.
Well,
Go ahead,
who on the
P.
defensive line in NCAA that you saying, yo, he's worth taking over Travis? I don't know.
What's my man from Texas? What are you talking about?
No, absolutely
Yo,
not.
yeah.
Absolutely not. Like I said, Travis is looking like a generational talent.
The game,
You
I get that, but the game just got to y'all. That's it.
No, it's not just a game, bro. It's not just a game. He's one of the most consistent dudes out there, yo. He's one of the most consistent dudes out there. I think just this was just a reminder. Like he just looks better.
Yeah,
Like he looks better.
yeah,
It's just crazy how comfortable he is out there. I'm watching him at corner, and he was doing some little like miscellaneous shit. Like he's going over there talking to everybody. I'm like, yo, don't forget your man. But that's just how comfortable he is. And then he'll go and just lock him down. Now, again, it's North Dakota receivers and all of that, but I can't take away from the fact that he's just playing the guys that he's lined up against. I mean, just phenomenal play, man. Phenomenal play.
he's a problem. Generational talent, like you said.
Generational talent. Besides that, I think arguably you could say that as far as a receiver is concerned, Jimmy Horn Jr. had just good of a game as well, right under Travis. I would say right under Travis. You take away that big drop at the end of the game,
Mhm.
um, which is if you know Jimmy Horn Jr., that's kind of been a little knock of his. Jimmy Horn Jr. played a phenomenal game. Jimmy Horn Jr. 7 receptions, 198 yards, and
Mm,
one touchdown.
that's crazy.
198. Damn.
198.
198.
And if he
Yeah.
would have caught that drop, that would have been easily 250.
That's easy. That's
Right,
easy.
right.
Yeah.
Because that was
I'm sorry. I meant to say this. I have one knock on Travis Hunter, and then we'll continue Jimmy Horn. Jimmy Horn has to stop the booty popping. I ain't gonna lie. I think it was his last touchdown. It was a dog moment, and I was like, ah! And then he started doing the little like the booty popping shit, and I'm like, Travis, come on, yo, like you could,
Travis. You said
yeah.
Jimmy Horn.
Nah, I'm saying one more thing on Travis. Like I think Travis,
He wasn't booty popping.
that last one,
Nah,
that last one,
he wasn't
that
booty
last
popping.
one was just a little too much for me, man. I just felt like, yo, you could have just gave me something else on a celebration like that.
When you got 3 touchdowns, you can do what you want, man.
I did like the
I
second
got
one
you.
though. The second one was hard. I know it's a TikTok dance, but that
I
joint was
did.
hard.
I did like the second one.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at the dancing. Don't get me wrong. I'm not mad at the dancing.
You know what we didn't
I like-
mention? The unis. Y'all ain't talk about the uniforms?
I was gonna get there. But yeah, I was gonna get there.
Nah, the unis was hard. The black.
Yeah, what y'all think about
black on
those? They
black.
tough.
The black on black was tough.
Well, let me just wait on that because I got a whole element to that, right? And I
Okay.
wanna when we chopped it up on halftime, it's kind of had something to do with what I wanted to tell you, but I didn't want to say it until we recorded.
Okay.
But Jimmy Horn Jr., phenomenal job. LeJontay Western, look,
Told
he
y'all.
looked really good.
I
So
told y'all.
we could go down the whole receiving core, but this is a phenomenal, depth, elite receiving core. And I'm not mad at anybody who says this is the best receiving core right now in college football. I wouldn't be mad at it. I mean,
It's funny. I said that last year. You was like I
Well,
was crazy.
well, they a little different this year. They're a little different this year.
They are.
Like the depth that is with them is just a little out of this world.
I wish Will Shepard got a few more touches,
Yeah.
but
Everybody can't eat when you know.
I understand that. And I ain't mad.
But
how- go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, I was gonna say he looked good as well.
He had 2 receptions for 23 yards.
How many yards did Shador throw for?
So let's talk about Shador because he was my next guy. Shador threw for 445 yards and 4 touchdowns and 1 interception that he couldn't control.
Yeah, he couldn't control it, but where was he throwing it?
It looked like miscommunication to me. It looked like the Western probably ran the wrong route.
Okay, but he
That's what
was
it looked
throwing
like.
it down. Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah.
So
I,
that
I well, let as we're talking about Shador, right? Phenomenal game. I'm gonna just say that Shador. I I have my knocks about Shador, but I'm leaving the last season at last season, and I'm only going to talk about what I saw tonight. Shador looked elite. Like, and now when y'all was talking about that whole Heisman shit, I could see it now. Like, he's not gonna get it over Travis, but just as far as him just even being involved in the conversation, I can see it. The way this dude, can make people miss in that backfield and then still give his receivers a chance to make a play. He's making the right throws. This is their first game playing together at that. Phenomenal, man.
yeah.
Phenomenal.
Go ahead, P.
No, I agree. There was some NFL level throws all night from Shador. There was a couple ones, just those out routes and stuff like that, going over the linebacker, like the trajectory of it. There was some elite level throws that shows his skill separating from everybody else. Like I told y'all last episode, he's he's a quarterback. He's going to the league. I feel like he's the best quarterback in the NCAA. Um, yeah, that's how I feel, and he showed it.
He's definitely the best quarterback in the nation right now. I do, y'all gave him all the praise, so I don't want to have to reiterate what or say what y'all
Mm,
already said. So don't take this as hating. My only knock on Shador is that he did underthrow a few balls. He he wasn't leading the receivers too well on deep throws. So a lot of the deep throws, they had to come back for the most
hmm
part. But other than that, like even the one down the seam, down the middle to
Jimmy Horn.
Jimmy Horn, that was an easy touchdown. And I understand the angle is off. It's down the middle. You gotta angle it the right way to catch that, but still it was behind him. And they had to turn him around and everything. So I just
hmm
feel like he underthrew a few passes. Other than that, that man was great. He is
Right.
that good. Yeah, he is that good. Like he's a problem. Um, definitely the best in the nation. I can't
No,
say
I
otherwise.
agree. Yeah, that is a common trait of his because he had the one to Wester at the end. He didn't quite get that over enough. He could have
Exactly.
just that was six. The one to Jimmy
Exactly.
Horn. Yeah, that is a common trait of his on that deep ball that he can
Right,
improve
right.
on.
Right,
Yep.
right. But other than that though, he did great. My man Wester, I'm telling y'all, he's the X factor. He
Mm.
is gonna be something. And I hope he makes it in the league. I know he's small. I
hmm
don't I don't know what class he is right now. Is he a junior? Is he a sophomore? I don't know what
Wester
he
came
is.
from. He is a senior. He a senior.
Oh man. So
Yeah.
I pray they give him a chance in the league
hmm
because he's like a damn Swiss Army knife.
You know who I like?
Go ahead.
Draylon Miller. I feel
That's
like
the
once
running
they
back.
the Debo, the running back slash receiver, number 6.
Right,
I feel
right,
like
right.
once they figure his role out, I know he's a freshman too, but he looks really good. He looks really good.
I see they trying to keep him happy. They gave him the first two
Yeah, that's
possessions,
crazy.
like yo, just
Yeah,
stay.
right,
Yeah.
right. So
TP, we can't hear you, TP.
My fault. My fault.
There you go.
I think that ultimately that passing game looked official, but here's where we got to talk about the world, and this is kind of what I was just saying last episode. Um, Coach Prime puts extra focus on the things that is going to benefit him and his sons, and that is kind of just what I seen tonight. That running game looked atrocious. It looked absolutely atrocious. Like, granted, they didn't need it, I mean, well, I'm not gonna say they didn't need it. Granted, their passing game was so official that they was able to get themselves out of needing the rushing game as much, but that's not going to work when you need to manage time versus better teams and play the time game with people.
I
Charlie, respect to him, but he is not it. He is not it. And I don't know, man. It just looks like there was no attention really made to that backfield.
I
Once
feel
again, I'm
like it.
going.
Go
Oh,
ahead.
go
Go
ahead,
ahead.
Biz.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So once again, for me, it was the scheme. To me, ain't much Charlie could do. When you running a halfback draws and halfback zones with your four receivers on the outside, you know what I mean? It was just a poor scheme to me. They didn't, and they barely ran. So the times they did it, it was easy to stop. You could see it coming. Their offense doesn't look that complicated too. I think the best thing they did that was sophisticated was when they motioned Horn out to the flat a couple times and did that little that quick dump. That was pretty cool. But other than that, it wasn't that complex. Like North Dakota State offense, that's more complex. You got a lot of things going on. You trying to figure out. Colorado is really simple.
Well, even if you put yourself in a mind state of
Mm-hmm.
what Dylan Edwards was last year, like I think now I'm really starting to see like it makes perfect sense on why he done got up out of there. Like it's just no type of catering or caring for the running back at all, man.
That's true. Yeah.
It was just non-existent, non-existent.
Mm-hmm.
Before I try to make this point, I really want to do my research, but let me just think of it as like a conspiracy, maybe a conspiracy theory. But anyway, the game has changed so much since I was playing, since y'all was playing. You know, the I formation was a thing back then. You know,
Mm-hmm.
now everybody's running out of the gun, everybody's running out of the pistol. No quarterbacks are hiking under center. They're not hiking under the center anymore. Everything is all right. So because of that, the run game isn't what it used to be. You know, and
No,
no,
no, I'm saying I agree with you. No, it's not. It's not what it
right,
used to be.
right. The run and I'm talking about nationwide. I'm not just talking about Colorado. I'm talking about in the
Mm-hmm.
game. Period. The culture of the game has shifted so much to where the I formation you only see that on the video game. You don't even see that in real life. So anyway, plus you got Shador Sanders that doesn't really run. You know, when you running out the gun or the pistol is usually for like read options and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Shador doesn't really run, so you're gonna pass the ball more than you run the ball. Especially, running from the gun. That's like running draws, like you said. It's like running a halfback draw. It takes too much time to get to the. You got to get to the line first.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, that's my conspiracy theory. I feel like you know the game has shifted away and more distant from the run game. And then when you got a quarterback like Shador Sanders, you got to play towards that, towards your strength. P said it was scheme.
So I hear what you're saying, but definitely do some more research because the running game is still prevalent to all of those top teams. I mean, you need a running game. You
No, but
think of like,
it depends on what scheme they running. Was are
but I'm
they
saying any scheme there is some type of running game from any scheme from those teams that we would consider the elite, the
all
top
right,
of the top.
all right, I
There's
hear you.
some type of running game. Now, no, it's not like back in the day. You may not get that ground and pound. It's going to be some who put the ball in the air a lot more than others. There are some who's gonna get running backs who can contribute to the passing game, help you out with screen games, swing passes. I mean, it's all types of things. But if you look at the elite of the elite and you look around the NCAA, there is some type of running game established.
Right.
It just doesn't seem like there's any for Colorado.
Yeah.
Right.
Like it didn't look good for them at all as far as rushing is concerned.
I do agree. I do agree.
Now again, offensive line play. Look, I got to give them their kudos. I think they played a decent game, especially with it being their first game playing together. You know, that is something that I kept telling myself. Expect the first game rust. This is their first time of them playing with each other. It's their first game of the season. That's one thing.
Mm.
But I think as far as just upgrading from last year, I think I've seen a big difference. I think I've seen a big difference from the offensive line play.
No, I
Okay.
agree with that.
Yeah. I'll give you that. I'll give you that. I still feel like he got touched too much for my liking. Um,
Yeah, I mean, I think that's going to happen when your receivers are going downfield and
right.
you got to hold on to that ball a little longer than the the average quarterback.
How many
Like
pass attempts did he have tonight?
40.
34.
I thought he had like 40 something. Yeah, 34.
Oh, that's really
Hmm.
not much. I thought he had like
Yeah.
50. Honestly, he dropped back so much.
It's just because they
34.
didn't have a lot of time in possession. You know what I
Right,
mean? I mean,
right,
yeah,
right.
North Dakota
They
State.
was yeah, they was running.
Yeah.
They was running a lot. Okay. Well,
So let's go ahead and just speak on this defense for a little bit. I don't have any defensive stats pulled up, but the defense definitely look like they are going to be what holds this team back. I, I I'm with y'all on that. I think this defense still just looks like they are just lacking. I agree that I don't think that they just were schemed up well. I don't think that they were confident in what they were doing out there. Um, and I don't think that there wasn't shown much talent on that defensive side of the ball that says they're going to be a defensive team that could stop these bigger and more skilled teams that they will have coming up.
I have a. I'm sorry. Can I just make a real point, real
Yeah,
quick?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I feel like was holding Colorado's defense back. Not too much their offense because I feel like you don't need it as much, but their defense is that Colorado has no culture. They have a team full of free agents, pretty much.
Hmm.
They got a team full of free agents that's really only playing together for 1 year, really one summer, you know? So this was their first game playing together. They don't have a culture where somebody has been there for 3 years, 4 years. They know exactly they could tell the younger guys coming in the ropes. They can show the transfers, the ropes. This is how we operate at this school. This is how we operate on this defense. They
Yeah.
don't have that. So everybody on that entire defense is just trying to figure it out, just trying to find their role, just trying to make something happen, but do their job correctly. So they're never gonna be strong, especially in the Big 12,
Hmm.
until Coach Prime is there for 4 years at least, until a freshman graduates from there. That's when you'll have a culture. That's when you'll know exactly what scheme you guys are running, you
Yeah.
know?
That's a good point.
Yeah,
That's a real good point.
yes.
It shows that. It shows
Right.
that. It shows that they're new. So it shows that they're new playing together. I think they're attempting to try to build a short-term culture feel for this year, But I agree with you 100%. I don't. I think that's what they kind of lack is is
Hmm.
is is that culture. You bring in Warren Sapp to try to help build that and to
Right.
try to make them. I think they're trying to. I think their attempt was to make them that aggressive defense, that physical defense or
Right.
whatnot. But yeah, I agree.
Yeah, there's no stability in the program. You know, everything was cleaned out. It's a clean slate. So, you
Hmm.
know, yeah, there's no. But that brings me to my first point in the beginning of the show where I was trying to say that I told y'all this yesterday. Everything was proven in this game today that I said last night. All right. I said, who's on the other side of Travis? Who's in their secondary? Who else do they have? The defense is improving. Who's on that defensive line? Y'all naming names, and of course, I wasn't up on all of them, but even then, they're not names. They're not household names. They're names trying to make names for themselves, and that's why they're coming to Colorado. All right, so I had to see something, and still,
Hmm.
I don't see anything. I still
I
see
saw. I
weakness.
think Chidozie looked good. 97.
Yeah, I agree.
97,
I agree.
97 was the best one on
What's his?
that
Hmm.
line. He was the only one that got a
What's my
sack.
man name? Bentley, number 20.
Yeah, he looked
He
solid.
he, he had a couple sacks.
Hmm.
Did he?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
I
they
think he
had
had the
they had
first one to be exact. I
yeah
believe.
they had 2 sacks in the game. So
Oh, they had two
Okay.
sacks. Okay, so there we
Okay.
go. Because I was about to say, couple, all I know is number 97 getting
Okay.
a sack.
So maybe he had one or whatever it is, or maybe it was a tackle for loss.
hmm
But he was in that backfield,
I
and
s- I see why they like Trevor. I know it's crazy, but his instincts on a couple plays, I see why they like him. He's in the right position.
As a
But
linebacker,
after,
he's great.
yeah, yeah. But even after that, yeah, once they flattened him out that one time, it was 1-on-1 with the running back.
Right, 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 right,
Yeah, that was crazy.
right.
Yeah.
Also, to P's point, yesterday, you were right about Shallow Sanders.
I was gonna say that exact same thing, man. You were
Thank
right.
y'all. Thank y'all.
Yeah,
You were right, because
Thank
that motherfucker did not look good, man. He did not look good to me.
Thank you.
And I thought we were gonna see a better version of him. And P, you said that he looks the same. I would argue that he probably declined a little bit. Like he just didn't look good, man. He did not look good.
because he looked the same, he declined. That's
Mm-hmm.
that's what I feel like. Because
Mm-hmm.
you saw that he did not get better, you got worse. You know, you were supposed to go into that off season getting right for the league, not even for this college season. You getting right for the league at this point, and you a six
Yep.
year senior. You a 6 year senior, bro.
Mm-hmm.
You supposed to be right. So
What
I go ahead, go ahead.
what really bothered me from him also is just his lack of discipline. Not only his late hit, but just overall the lack of discipline that he has towards the game. Like when it's good, of course you may not talk about it so much, but it's starting to hurt him. Like it's starting to hurt the team, and it just he's my favorite Sanders. I mean, I've said this all last year. He's my favorite Sanders personally, but he's starting to
Mm-hmm.
annoy me with that shit. Like he and I matter of fact, speaking of Sanders, I would go as far as to say that the only Sanders that impressed me tonight was Shador. Everybody else, I think, was either a disappointment or was a no show.
Mm,
Mm-hmm.
I could agree
Just
with
take it.
that.
Wow.
And I'll translate this and let's talk about coaching. P, what I was going to tell you earlier was that when you mentioned the fact that you've seen two difference in the coaching or like the coaching style or whatever it is, one thing that I noticed that was different was that with those jerseys that came out, there was a lot of shine. I don't know what happened in just one season,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
everybody had on the damn chain.
I saw that. I saw that.
Everybody was coming out. I seen people out there wearing visors that did not have on visors last year. I mean, face masks were changed up,
Yeah,
all different types of shit. Everybody was coming out there on a fashion show,
yeah.
and that's the culture that he built. I mean,
I like it.
no, but see, I don't, and I'm gonna be real with you. I like the idea of it, but as it to me, it proves and it shows outside of maybe the offensive side of the ball, because receivers, you want them to be flashy. That's the part of their game. It doesn't look like you are creating a team that is going to be disciplined and hard nosed. No, it looked
Right.
like they was coming out there and they ain't trying to be cute. Meanwhile, North Dakota, they were the complete opposite. They was coming out there to punch your ass in the mouth. They looked like the shoulder pads came out of year 2008, and it was just like, yo, we came out here to play football.
That's real.
Mhm.
So I seen the difference in as far as structure in those two teams, and I think Coach Sanders has to do a better job at bleeding the line with looking good and having that swag versus being disciplined and focusing on the main thing. That's one of my knocks.
Go ahead, P.
Yeah, if we're talking about coaching, man. Like I mentioned earlier, some of his management decisions, clock management, just seemed a little bit off. It just some stuff didn't make sense to me. Like I said, the big one for me was that timeout when you could have just took a delay a game and punt it. At that moment, every second matters at the end of the game. You can't play with that. And then just knowing like if something goes wrong, you still have that timeout. You just used it for nothing. Um, and then that decision to go for it early, I don't like it just because it was way too early for that, and your defense was just coming off a stop, so they just came and showed that okay, they figured some things out, made some adjustments. So you want to play the field position, so that gave North Dakota more points. They did get a touchdown, but that's 3 points.
Right.
So you got to just think long term. Once again, it's those decisions. Like I just don't like it. And then lastly, that the scheme of the defense just didn't make sense to me. You can't run man. You can't lock in on man with a team that's motioning like that because
Right.
they're literally just moving their players over, getting you out of position.
Right.
They literally did that the whole first half. Just move them out and get them out of position over and over again. And they did that last year when they played like Colorado State, when teams will do the same thing over and they'll make no adjustments. And that's the difference, I think, between them and North Dakota State made adjustments. They just had to deal with Travis Hunter on the other side. But they made
Yeah.
adjustments. They dropped the safety back, and they saw that they weren't running, so they just kept running that same. It looked like a cover two, and a cover two man and a cover two. They
Yeah.
made their adjustments, and Shador even said it. We're going into halftime. So yeah, so they made some changes, some things we didn't see coming because they coach there. Colorado, they make no changes to me defensively. Until that
Mm.
second half, they did do better, but I just think those two things they need to figure out now because they got Nebraska next week, and Matt Rule got something to prove. That nobody forget that's a rivalry. And they don't forget last year.
Ooh.
They didn't
Oh.
forget.
Uh, I'm gonna do my homework on Nebraska, and then I'm gonna come back to y'all with a prediction. I gotta see their trenches. I gotta see their defensive line. But this game did show a lot, and it did expose a lot of their weaknesses, a lot of their cons in their system. Um, and it's a lot of things that they can't get to in 1 week. Like they're not gonna correct those mistakes in 1 week. This is gonna
Mhm.
be years to correct.
Oh
Years.
shit.
Yeah, nah, for real, for real. Cause like I said, it's a culture thing. It's a culture thing. Imagine building a team full of free agents, or not even free agents. Well, yeah, no, free agents, free agents. Imagine building a team full of free agents and having to go through a season with them and coach them and try to win and uh try to convince fans that they could go to the chip.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like, also, you really convincing us that that the team full of free agents could go to the chip. The team that the players that nobody really wanted or nobody could handle, or the players that really can't handle competition, or there might be some behavioral issues, attitude, whatever. You got a team full of that you got to deal with. So
Hmm.
I give them the benefit of the doubt. Um, yeah, there was a few coaching errors, but at the end of the day, he coached them to a win. He coached them to a win, and that was a tough one because if he would have lost that, he would have been on the hot seat, the mega hot seat. He on the hot seat
Well,
now.
well, I'm gonna go ahead and say this: his son and Travis saved him. They saved him. If it wasn't for the highlights to distract people from the fact that Coach Sanders really did a poor job tonight, he would definitely be on the hot seat, win or lose. This game was not supposed to go this way. So technically, if you like are a football mind or are more than just the highlight guy, in your brain, he's in the hot seat now
Hmm.
because he didn't look.
Oh,
It didn't look good.
I forgot. The biggest one was running the ball at the end of the game. What was that? What are you thinking? A minute and 20 left. North Dakota State has one more timeout. You just got a first down. In the college game, the shot clock's what, 40 seconds? And you pass the ball on first down.
That was the
That's what I'm
screen.
talking about.
Was that the screen
That
or like a
was that the
pass to the
drop? No,
flat?
that's not even the drop to Horn.
No, that
That
was yeah.
was
Not
another
that one.
pass. I think he threw it like out of bounds or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was completely like they ran the play. Was that the deep shot? I don't know. But anyways, it doesn't still don't make sense. It's a minute and
Right.
20 left. You run the ball there. If you're gonna throw it, say that for third down if you're trying to make it. But you want to see what you can get first. Let's run the ball. One, they have a timeout left. Let's go ahead and get that out the way.
Right.
And two, let's see what we get. We run the ball and get 7 yards. Now we know what we're working with. We can go ahead and wrap this game up.
Yeah,
It just doesn't make sense.
yeah. I agree. I 100% agree. And so I mean, I think ultimately, man, I think ultimately ain't much has changed as far from a coaching standpoint, as far as Coach Prime. Um, as far as his seat is concerned, it don't seem as if anything changed. And the only Sanders that deserves any type of credit tonight or any type of pat on the back was Shador.
Hmm.
Shador saved him. Shador and Travis put the team on the back tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just really that, man.
No
Um,
doubt. No
I
doubt.
think Coach Sanders is going to really have to. Well, we already said it that he's not, but in order to have better results, Coach Sanders is going to have to look in the mirror and he's going to have to change some of his ways, man.
Be
Because
before we get out of here, P, and TP way. Well, nah, you didn't give one, but P, do you stand by your preseason predictions
Yeah,
after
I feel
this
like
game?
it's after this game it's only right. And people, I don't want people to sleep on the Bison, right? I don't want the viewers out there to think that this game should have been a blowout, or I think they should have blew them out. But Bison aren't. They're a good football team. They're a good program. They're proven, and they're well coached. And we saw that tonight. But I think I want to see them next week, and I'm gonna make my long term prediction. Let me
Oh
see them
man.
versus Nebraska. And
Oh
reason being
man.
is Nebraska is better, but they started, that kid, that Dylan Raiola, that freshman quarterback. He's a freshman quarterback, but he's supposed to be nice. You know, they call him the Mahomes lookalike, whatever. So
Mm,
let's see them versus an established program that's on the rise. Nebraska's supposed to be better. Let me see how they show up to that. Then that's what next week gonna tell me everything I need to know. This
okay.
I'm gonna
everything.
say this though. I'm gonna say this to their favor. I think they're going. They have a lot easier schedule than they had last year.
Of course.
Like
Yeah.
just with this new format and the Big 12 and stuff. I
Mm-hmm.
just think that maybe. I mean, I'm trying not to put too much stock in just the first game and one game. Maybe there's some things that they could start clicking.
Right.
Maybe there's better play out there for them to be had, and I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt as far as that is concerned. Um, but as far as just going off of tonight's performance, I think that they have some long nights ahead of them. They
Mm,
have some long nights ahead of them.
mm.
Um, so I mean, that's pretty much that on that. Any other
See,
major takeaways
nah,
that y'all
no,
could
no,
think of?
no other takeaways. I just want to know from you, TP. Are they winning six this year?
I'm gonna give them 6 because at the same time I think their offense, their passing game is phenomenal. It's phenomenal. And I just don't know who is going to be able to really stop that. It looks like they are going to be a problem as far as that is concerned. I think there are going to be some teams that they just really get away from. There's not. I think there might be a couple games where like it won't be as tight as this one due to that passing game. Um, and so I think that they could pull off 6 wins. Again, it's all predicated on uh, how together they end up being as games go on.
Chemistry. Yep.
Yeah, and the chemistry built. So
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
I
okay.
think it's gonna go up from here. I would believe so.
You sound better than last year. He's different.
They're better. They're a better team than last year. They're playing different teams than last year. Um, and I do think that ultimately a lot of people um have a chip on their shoulder. So I think that I ain't gonna say a lot of people. Key people have a chip on their shoulder. So I think that's gonna benefit them in the long run. I mean, Travis was out there having fun with it, but he was playing like he wanted to come for that Heisman.
Yeah.
And,
Yep.
and Shador, I think he sat long enough and he heard everybody um, saying whatever opinion that they had about him, and the way he was stepping up to that pocket, taking on blows and stuff like that, he showed me that he also has a chip on his shoulder
That was commendable.
for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy Horn Jr. has a chip on his shoulder. He wants to go pro. So don't forget him. LaJohntay Wester is a senior. He's gonna have a chip on his shoulder. Jordan Seaton, he's gonna make a name for himself. He's
He
got a
played.
chip on his
He played
shoulder.
well too. He did
He
good.
played well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, so I think there's gonna be some results that cater to that. So we'll see, man. Only in due time, man. Only in due time.
All right, all right.
So anything else that kind of sticks out from you? I know that a lot of times, when we do these recaps and things like that, and we stop recording, we'll get off the mic, and then while we laying down that night or something, we'd be like, "Oh shit, I forgot to say this."
Nice.
But
Save it
look,
for the next one.
for
Mm-hmm.
sure, ladies and gentlemen, that is our Colorado Buff versus North Dakota State University recap. Again, this was a good one. I'm just happy that NCAA football is back, man. I mean,
Indeed.
this is what it's about. Um, next, is going to be a good one also as well. I think Colorado is just a team that's just going to bring you um, just excitement. They're a flashy team. They're a team that plays exciting ball, and right now they're 1-0, and we'll just see where it goes from there. So on that note, this is balling on another level. Thank y'all for rocking with us. If you haven't already, please make sure you like, comment, but most importantly, subscribe, subscribe, subscribe.
Sub.
Until next time, peace.
Peace.